welcome. We got some potent, intense energy, but it makes sense, right? Because we are in Scorpio season. And Scorpio season just started yesterday, which was Sunday, the 23rd. And then tomorrow, Tuesday, will actually be the Scorpio new moon with the solar eclipse. So it's a lot of potent energy for shifting and changing things up, especially as far as personal transformations, how you show up in the world. So, we'll see who shows herself this evening. And shuffling here. Now, let's see. Shuffle. Sorry. That's how we're feeling, okay? That's what the vibes are recently. A little unexpected and kind of, yeah, unexpected. And her 13. Ooh, okay. It's interesting. So when I was looking for a picture to post for tonight's Patreon, I saw this goddess a couple times, and so bam, she's back in here. Miss Aphrodite says to awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciate your divinity. All right, so that's a cool way to transform during this season, right? Is to embrace more of our divinity, whatever that looks like for you. However you relate to that. Sometimes certain words or phrases, things like that, can be a little elusive. For instance, we have a culture where people are like, yes, queen, okay, goddess. I've noticed that recently I've had people call me, hey, love, and it's just like little pet names or whatever. Or I saw a lady the other day who was like, she calls everyone angel, which I think is very sweet. But some of those terms or labels, they kind of, some resonate and others might land a little bit, on the wayside or something. So it just really depends on how you tune into what that divinity looks like to you and through you. And then embracing that, seeing how you can cultivate more of that and let that energy, that essence, just expand through your body, through your physical body, through your emotional self, your mental self, your spiritual self, so that you can truly appreciate the inner goddess that you have, and innately that you have, and then also just giving yourself that permission to not only explore the depths of your divinity, but maybe redefine some of the ways you see yourself, especially the lower or like negative, less desirable aspects of yourself, flaws as we call them. But how can you really embrace those and embrace your weaknesses and see them actually as strengths? So this is a very potent message, I think, for the time that we have here. Even though Aphrodite is associated with the goddess of Venus, which would also be Libra. We just came out of that season, so as we regain some balance, now is a good time to also embody that, and to just appreciate our divinity, apparently. So let me see. All right. Only have my little crystal stone here to placeholder, but I don't have it. So I'm just gonna go with the flow. All right, and so go ahead and take a few deep breaths. And just giving yourself the time and space. Slow down. Show up and slow down. Gently closing your eyes. Giving yourself full permission to relax. Just breathe, do nothing right now. Just breathe and just exist. Just be. Breathing deeply and taking your time to settle in the stillness. Allowing any cloudiness, fog within your space or mind dissipate, to just float on. Allowing your emotional waters to become calm. Breath becomes smooth. And you begin to notice physical body, just scanning your body from head to toe. Taking this time to really connect with yourself. Noticing how the crown of your head feels, allowing it to be open and receptive. Divine guidance, wisdom that is here for you. Feeling this sense of calmness, relaxation move into the mind, relaxing the space between the brows. Noticing the ebb and flow of breath, moving in and out through the nose, and just observing the quality of your breath. As you feel it enter on the inhale through the nostrils, moving down through the throat, exhaling through the nose, or maybe decide to exhale out through the mouth. Taking a few rounds of breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, just giving yourself permission to settle in. Noticing how as you breathe, the heart space rises and falls. Maybe you notice the rhythm of life force energy being pumped through your body from your heart space, down through the arms, your hands, your fingertips. And just taking this moment to bring awareness to anything you may be holding on to, whether lightly or holding on for dear life. Just notice, what are you holding on to? Maybe you know, maybe something comes to mind, but just flow with it. Flow with the breath. As we consciously release that which no longer serves us, we open up and create the space to receive better in its place. And you don't always have to know exactly what it is that you want to receive. Sometimes simple is best, and all that is needed is to set the intention to receive better better and see what shows up for you. Take a moment to just really contemplate the potency of this time and all the magic that surrounds us as the veils, illusion become thinner and thinner. We accept and celebrate this time. We embrace our magic, the potential for miracles, synchronicity, alignment. What are you choosing to consciously release? Feel yourself letting go. Notice where you feel that energy within your body, allowing it to just loosen up and soften and begin to dissolve. As always, just breathe, allowing the breath to assist you in releasing, surrender. As you release, moment, breath to just sit in that space of emptiness, that void, doing nothing, having to be anything, just here in this. Much more can you surrender and relax, come quiet and still. Allow the thoughts to just flow through the mind. Any feelings or emotions simply just pass through. Continuing to just breathe and embrace the stillness, the silence within. Just observe. No need to do anything, change anything, judge anything, expect anything. Just be here, existing, just as you are. Notice if you're comfortable just being. Notice if you are not, if you are expecting something, feel as if you should be doing something. Just notice, breathe into those observations. Sometimes we feel as if we always have to be doing. We forget that is masculine energy. Many of us have been raised to think or believe that this is a man's world. Masculine energy is active, productive, provides. It's always going and in motion. Sometimes the absence of that might feel unsettling. It might feel as if we are not doing our best simply because we are just not doing something. And maybe for some of us, the absence of that feels boring. We may judge ourselves, but is it truly boring? Or is it simply peace, rest, stillness, quiet, receptivity, tranquility? So in this moment, less is more. This is your divine birthright to move with intuitively inspired action, not just doing things just because. Take this moment to rest. Your spirit, rest your mind, calm your feelings and emotions. Allow your body to just melt, become heavy. There are only two things in this moment that you can do. But outside of that, everything else is just that. Those two things are to breathe, to just observe, nothing else. Allow the breath to bring you deeper within the body. Maybe you can feel diaphragm elevating, de-escalating. Maybe you notice the belly expanding on the inhale, contracting on the exhale. Nothing forced, just flowing, feeling, being. Eventually allowing the breath to land down, bottom of the pelvic floor, here within your sacred center. Center of creativity and pleasure, prosperity. Tapping into that divine feminine source, however you see that, whether it feels like goddess energy, queen energy, sovereign being energy, empress energy, motherly energy, whatever that feels like for you, tap into that source. Allow that wellspring of energy flow down to the legs, knees, shins and calves, down into the feet, toes. As the lower half of your body begins to fill up, this energy will begin to flow down to the earth, either through the base of your spine and the pelvic floor into the earth, or through the soles of your feet. Maybe you allow yourself to just play around and see which one feels right for you this evening as you ground the energy down to the earth. Allow this flow of energy to just take with it anything that's no longer certain. Feel whatever it is, memory, thought, or worry, uncertainty, fear, doubt, excitement, anxiety, whatever it is, allow it to just flow and wash down into the earth. Feeling your energetic presence becoming clearer and clearer. Just breathing. And letting go. So you remember your connection to this divine source is beneath you, Also, remember to hold your crown up high. Aligning yourself with that divine feminine essence above, allowing it to move and flow through you. So you simply breathe, feeling this channel, this stream of consciousness flowing above and below. As it moves through you from above down below. Your spiritual body, your mental body, your emotional body, your physical body, and your capacity to receive tonight's guidance becomes greater and greater. As you expand yourself energetically as a container to receive guidance that is here for you, helping you to awaken to the goddess that is within you. Remembering that as you devote yourself to your self-care rituals and practices, the more you honor and love on yourself, dance and celebration, moving your hips, your body, touching yourself in pleasurable, loving ways that you not only awaken the goddess within you, but you show your devotion, appreciation to your own divinity. Allow your inherent feminine wisdom and your dynamic beauty to rise to the surface. Feel that feminine source code being activated from the marrow of your bones and expanding out through your bones, connecting to your muscles, moving through your body into all of your organs, eventually seeping into your skin and oozing out of your pores, your crown, your hair, your lashes, your nails, every aspect of your being. And just sit with that for a moment. Whether it happened quickly or it's still moving through you, allow yourself just to be with that essence. You feel it completely saturate in your being. Cherish its power. Maybe you affirm and tell yourself, I see you clearly. Take in the meaningfulness of this connection. How unique this experience is just for you. How the goddess, divine feminine, shows herself through you, as you, This inner feminine essence nurtures you. It fills you up when you are depleted. You have been going, 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 and just doing, doing, doing. It's a way for you to resource yourself. Becoming more resourceful, meaning you are full of your source energy, your original essence, time and time again. You can come back to this space, place, feeling, sensation. It's here for you at all times. Your body is a divine instrument. Tool of divination. Tune yourself to that of your higher self. Holding your crown high, you will find that your connection to this inner wisdom, this power, source, this creativity becomes stronger and stronger. It no longer becomes something you have to try to tap into or force or work on. It becomes natural. It is in this remembrance where your divinity is found. Sovereignty is intact. Your purity is untouched. So just breathe. Take a moment to just bathe in this essence. Take this moment, be still, become aware of, take care of, and celebrate yourself and your magnificence. In what ways do you choose to celebrate yourself right now? You have full permission to give yourself all the love, all the credit, all the acknowledgement, all of the appreciation, right? Celebrate yourself. You have full permission to do so. And just notice how that feels. Allow yourself to feel good about celebrating yourself. Be grateful for who you are, loving who you are, celebrating how far you've come, all that you've been through. You're still here. Beautiful. exquisite, divine instrument, embodiment of the divine feminine in human form, all of her magnificence. Celebrate yourself. Give yourself permission to feel worthy of this celebration. It's as if it's your birthday, but instead of just one day, you do it every day, or at least you have permission to every Monday. Celebrate yourself. Hold on to this feeling that you can access and remember. Take a deep breath to that feeling. Allow it to really penetrate, integrate to your physical being all the way into all aspects of your physical, allowing even your nervous system to update, upgrade to this new feeling, this new way of being, sensing. When you feel complete with this download or integration process, being very gentle, loving, caring yourself and your body, taking a few breaths, and getting to little toes, fingers, doing some gentle movements to the body, some hip circles, shoulder circles, neck circles, and ventral. Open your eyes, come out of meditation. Good. Put stuff too far away from me. Okie dokie. Well, thank you, Renita. Yeah, I just, recently it's been interesting. I've just been going with the flow myself. So thank you. It just kind of felt like slow down, and instead of being so literal with the message, it was like, let it just kind of inspire you and, see where it goes. So that's where we went. But I also got the message as far as tonight's collective message. I forgot in the beginning to read who Aphrodite was and what she stands for. But it's not it's not the goddess herself that we are, channeling per se, unless you feel inclined to, get into that. But it's more so the archetype, right? This particular aspect of femininity, because we know that as women, right, there are times where we have to, where there's times where we're more emotional, a little more sporadic or erratic, as far as like how maybe a man would see us or describe us. But when we are more, hypersensitive or hyper aroused by something, whether we are more emotional or not, those are different aspects. And sometimes, those can lead us into places where I notice I've been seeing a lot. Where's the net coming from? I've been seeing a lot, or not a lot, 3 times but about sacred rage, and sometimes when we act out or we just finally had enough and we're just like, we're looked at as less than or crazy or she's psycho and all this stuff. But I find that in the tantric coaching program that they call it sacred rage, because what rage really does, right? Rage and anger are kind of two different things. Rage comes when the anger has just been suppressed for so long, and eventually it's like it erupts, right? But that erupting type of energy, that's like the goddess Pele. She's the goddess of volcanoes. Oh, this is pretty cool because this is the other goddess I was about to bring up myself, actually. But yeah, the goddess Pele, she is probably somewhere in here. I know she is somewhere. She's got to be up in. But anyways, Pele, here she is. Hawaiian goddess of volcanoes. Sometimes Mother Earth, this feminine body, right? Sometimes she erupts, and guess what? it's chaotic. It's, might burn some folks in the process, but at the end of the day, she has transformed herself, right? And sometimes that chaotic energy can also be a way, that rage could be a way of us reestablishing boundaries that we have, relinquished to others, or have, gotten imbalanced in. And so sometimes rage can help us to reestablish those boundaries. It can help us to speak our truth. And so there's no need to judge ourselves for it. But if you're, mindful enough, if you're practicing mindfulness, then there's moments where you're like, okay, I'm feeling very angry, feeling kind of vengeful, feeling, resentful or something. And through the practice of mindfulness, you begin to understand where that's coming from. And instead of being like letting it just kind of fester and then eventually erupting, through time, you get to a point where you're like, I don't like how this feels. I don't like this. And then you might say, you know what? Can we talk? And so now you're channeling it in a more conscious way, and eventually, hopefully, through practice, you get to a space where it's so subtle. That little bit of that anger or frustration gets so subtle because you fine tune your body well enough to know, ugh, I'm being asked to do something. I know I don't like that. So instead of saying yes and just sucking it up, I'm just gonna say, you know what? No, and let it be what it is. Instead of letting things kind of boil over, we step into that space where we're more evolved in our, or more masterful of our emotions, and then we can embrace more of like the goddess Kali, who is about endings and beginnings. We know and trust that this is, for more discerning, I guess, of knowing that this needs to end, and this is what I'm now creating space for. And so it doesn't have to be this crazy chaotic thing, but even if it is, okay, that's fine. Your feelings, like I say all the time, your feelings are feedback. And so as we use these goddess, cards, oracle cards, the main word is guidance to me. And so there's a lot of different ways that we can express our femininity or who we are as women. There's also ways that we can honor that, and invoke those different archetypes within us. And so tonight with Aphrodite, right? Sorry. It went down the wrong pipe. But Aphrodite, which is this is actually interesting what I'm getting from this. This is kind of interesting download. It says Greek goddess of passion and love. Okay, associated with planet Venus. All right. We talked about that. Her, Venus and Libra, just got out of Libra season. We also have some planetary shifts that happen in the sign of Venus, which I think when like Libra recent, or Venus recently just made the what, like this kind of like I would call like a portal in a way, but the 5-pointed star of Venus, which doesn't happen for like, maybe happens every 250 years. So that was a very, I think that was Saturday maybe, but it was a very loving kind of day, energetically. Anyways, but Aphrodite, her name means foam born. And as legend says, that she sprang from her father's genitals that were cast into the ocean. And so she's associated, represents like this wild, kind of primal, feminine sexual energy. And the perv in me thinks foam born. And I'm like, well, sperm, when it comes at it, it can be kind of foamy depending on his diet. I don't know if he got like, if it's a beer and chicken wings diet, or if he's got like pineapples and, plant-based foam, if you know what I mean. But either way, I thought this was interesting because I was like, okay, foam born, that sprang from her father's genitals. Well, that's where sperm comes from, the genitals of a man cast into her ocean. And I'm thinking to myself, her ocean, I'm like, yes, that's what this is. And a woman, like we have a lot of fluidity that happens in our genital area, right? I mean, whether it's our cycle every month, or it is just our daily cleansing and so forth that happens. But even, when we're pregnant, you have this water that we hold here, that holds this new being, this new life. And so to me, that's kind of like that ocean metaphor. Um, which is why it makes sense that she, brings on female sexual energy and represents that. So, with that being said, she helps women feel comfortable with their bodies and their sexuality. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I was talking about, how you touch yourself. You don't always have to, when we think of sometimes maybe touching ourselves, we may think of, pleasure practices. I don't like to say really masturbation because that means like dirty apparently. And we don't realize that subconsciously now we're like, oh, I'm dirty, I shouldn't touch myself. No, touch yourself. How's you do breast massage, you got to touch yourself, you know. um you do, whether you washing your face or whatever, even when you shower your body, do it consciously, like, oh, I'm washing my arms, I'm grateful for, all that they hold, what they bring me. Washing my stomach, and the power that it holds. I'm washing my ass, and like really just, we'll slap it while we're down there, I don't know. But but the more you learn to touch your body, the more you learn also how you want others to touch you, right? And then you become more sensitive to the power of touch and how you touch others, but how you like to receive that, okay? As a love language. Touch is a love language, and one that sometimes we might overlook. And so it's one of those things where I think I've noticed that the power of that love language of touch sometimes gets a little overlooked. We're like, I don't want people to touch me, I don't want people to touch me. But think of the different ways that the other love languages align with touch, right? Because more than likely, someone gives you words of affirmation, someone gives you a gift, someone does something nice for you of service. What is more than likely, what do you want to do? You want to give them a hug. Thank you. You want to give them gratitude, or like, oh, or you might touch yourself, right? Put your hand on your heart. Oh, that's so sweet. So the power of touch, we don't realize how intertwined it is. And I think during the pandemic, a lot of times, or I think a lot of people didn't realize how much touch and connection is so intertwined with us as beings, as human beings, as mammals, actually. And so, anyways, helping you to become more comfortable with your body and sexuality. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the form of a pleasure practice, but it can be. But knowing how your body feels and what feels good to you helps you to build more confidence in yourself. And Aphrodite helps both genders to experience more passion in their relationships, to become more balanced as far as male and female energy is concerned, which is why meditation was kind of guided into just not doing anything. Like, let's just rest, just chill out. There's a lot of energy out there, and it's like, okay, well, we don't have to entertain it right now. We can just woosah and just be. So that's part of the collective message for this evening. And then various meanings of tonight's card is to balance your male energy with more female energy, which is about resting. Sometimes we can be resilient, other times we might just rest, sometimes we need to put effort in things, but also we know how to flow back and be at ease and just let things be. Take steps to heal your sexuality. And that can be, whatever works for you, whether it's therapy, whether it's exploring like a jade egg practice. If you need more information on that, you can always let me know, because I have some practice with that from years ago, and now again with this tantra stuff. But enjoy being feminine. Celebrate that. Enjoy being a woman, dance more often. Dancing is definitely a form of not only celebrating, but moving your body, connecting with your body, expressing your sensuality, yourself, creative expression of yourself as you dance, especially when you're moving your hips and things like that. If you look at a lot of cultures that embrace sensuality, a lot of them have dance involved. And when I say sensuality, it's like a sacred sensuality, right? Like, for instance, the Latin culture. I mean, those women, they move their hips when they salsa. They are not, I love the Latin culture. I love, like, I've never been to like Spain or anything, or Italy, but or even France, but that's kind of different. But, when I think of like South America, Central America and South America, anytime I've been there, like it's not a shameful thing to be in love with someone or to express that, I love that when I went to Mexico City several years ago, I saw couples of different ages, teenagers, elderly couples, they're holding hands, they're kissing on each other. The men are doting on the women are allowing themselves to receive that appreciation, that affection. They're on blankets at the park, making out and stuff. It's like, it's not a shameful thing to be sensual and to be masculine and to be feminine. I feel like they honor really both aspects very well. And when I look at the Latin culture, especially in Central and South America, it is a very sacral chakra based culture. And I love that. And who doesn't like tacos and tequila? But anyways, it just helps get everything else going. And I can't remember exactly, but I know there's like chakras within the world. I don't know if I feel like I might be right, but I think the sacral chakra of Earth is I think that might be. Hold on a second. I know y'all can hear me. I think it might be the Latin culture, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. The sacral chakra of... I was right. Okay, it's in Peru. So, I was right about that. That's probably why I was feeling that. But yes, the sacral chakra of Earth, the second chakra, is actually in South America. So that makes sense. It's in Peru, actually. Peru and like Bolivia. But dance more often. And when you think about it as well, it is, I also like to tune that into our African ancestry as well, with the dancing, the celebration, tribal practices of celebration. And also, I know that wearing waist beads and stuff like that is kind of trending, but it actually has ancestral roots. A lot of times, some of those African tribes and cultures will, when a girl has her period, they kind of put that on her so that it's kind of like a celebration of that as well. It's not something to be shunned. It's like, oh, you're a woman now, And some cultures, that's when they would marry the daughter off because, like, you're a woman now. You know what I'm saying? And so they would marry her off to be, to have a husband and bear children and so forth, And I know I just pulled that up. I'm gonna make this quick because I know I need to get to the readings. And I know y'all are getting a lot of information here. Yes, so it looks like also there's some vortexes and chakras in Africa as well. There's a vortex at the very bottom, and there's a chakra, the fifth chakra, which would be the throat chakra at the very top. To me, that makes sense because if you look at a map, it goes, South America and Africa, kind of like, similar plane. But then also they, what was I going to say? In color theory, the color orange and the color blue are complementary colors. So to me, it's not a coincidence that Afro-Latin combination is very much about dance, celebration, and celebrating femininity as well. It allows women to be, feminine. So with that being said, be receptive, and in relationships, allow your softer side to come forward. Do not hide your femininity. So if that means putting on a little extra lipstick or, a dress or something like that, then do it. However you want to celebrate yourself as a woman, divine feminine embodiment, please do that this week. You have full permission to do so and to transform with this powerful energy that we have to celebrate ourselves. Right? too.